I realized that I've never talked about graphic novels on here, and some of my favorite ones happen to be kind of creepy or different in some kind of way. So today I'm going to share some October recommended graphic novels. The first one is Through the Woods, and it has a bunch of little like short creepy stories in it, and I love it. I love all the art in it, and they're not like super long, so you could just read like a few before bed. This is a really good one for October, and wasn't like very expensive. It's really cool, and all the stories are like really different. This is a good one. The next one is Anya's Ghost. This is like an actual, it's a little bit like thicker. It's like an actual story that you follow. But Anya is essentially haunted by this ghost that she finds. And it's super interesting. It's not what I thought it was going to be, but in a good way. It turned out to be like a little bit darker than I anticipated. And it's in like, it looks like a kiddish form, but it was really good. Can you see that the person in her hair is the ghost? It took me so long to realize that. My next recommendation is kind of a bias because they're not creepy, but they're supernatural enough to be in this video. And it's all of the Paper Girls. And the first one I would say is the best one, but the other two are so fantastic. It follows a group of girls that have a paper route, and just crazy stuff starts happening in their town, and it's just like the ongoing experience that they have in each of these. It's like very colorful and cool, and like crazy stuff goes on. Oh, these are like one of my favorites for any time of the year. And when they come out with new volumes, I'm always like, gotta get it immediately. The next one is Black Hammer. It looks like this. This one was harder for me to get into just because I felt like the story was kind of slower. And I really liked the art and everything, but this isn't like my typical kind of story. They all are like, have some sort of supernatural power and live all together, and it kind of goes through like how they function in their town. I didn't click with the story as quickly, but it was still a really good one, and I think people that would be into the more, I don't know, slower art-based ones, this one's a really good one for that. My favorite is like when this creepy woman comes into it, which I'm sure is a surprise to no one. The next one I actually haven't read yet, but seems really good. Not necessarily like creepy, but like just spooky or just enough of that vibe to be included, and it is Alone. This is massive. But it looks like this. I talked about this in my last video, but I mean, look at it. Like, the vibe just fits what I'm looking for in October. So this is definitely one that I think that I will really like, and it's got that texture. So good. It's essentially about a man that is always alone and lives kind of like a hermit, and it goes through his life and things of that nature, and I just want to sit at that desk so bad. Alright, next one is Tethered. I really liked this, but it's kind of, it's a little bit more gory than any of the ones I've previously recommended. But it goes through like, it's more of like a zombie type thing. But it goes through the story of two men that become zombies, but are almost given like a second chance. Like they're not like fully zombies yet. And it sort of goes through, are you gonna be a different kind of person or are you not? And I really liked it. I thought it was really different, and this has that nice texture too. But it is pretty gory, just be warned. The last two I considered not adding because they are a little bit more risque and odd. So if you're not into that, then goodbye. These two are the more like risque picks. This one in particular has just a lot of like graphic images, but it's so cool. They're in like this, it's these two girls, there's like hardly any words, but they're in this like really creepy looking house and like just do really creepy things. You do see like some of like their nudity a little bit even on the cover, but it's not like a focal point by any means. I think it's still a really odd, interesting read. I actually really recommend it if you're able to find it and like don't mind that aspect to it, because this is like one of my favorites. It's just like really visually interesting and so odd. And then Folly has those same girls in it, and it's just like a little bit more messed up. So I mean, they're not bad, they're just a little bit more disturbing. So those are all of my October graphic novel recommendations. If you're interested in more graphic novel recommendations, I'm totally down to do that. I have an entire shelf dedicated to them. Just let me know in the comments down below. As for the rest of October, I'm just going to continue doing October themed creepy recommendations, reads, things like that, and of course Pintober. And I think today's is like, this is a newer one, and it's gonna be in the vlog, whatever, but she is my favorite. It's Samara from The Ring, and she is my spirit animal. And I often say she's just like the little demon girl that lives inside me, because that's who I am as a person, in case you were confused. But that's all I've got. Until next time, bye.